Oh, all right. How's this look? Yeah, everyone's a bit flatter and wider than than normal because of how frames work. But yeah. Is it Friday? I suppose it is. No, it's Saturday. We're a day late. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. If you give me like one more stream's worth of time, I'll be able to fix the aspect ratios on everyone's PNG. But welcome. This is the inaugural stream for the Adventures on Stormwreck Isle. Oh, welcome. Here, why don't you all introduce yourself? Let's start top left and work our way clockwise. Yeah. You can go over your character name and race and any other pertinent information that will be publicly available. Hmm. All right. Yes. All right. Oh wait.
Oh
We have to do it
no!
again.
We have to do it again!
Introduce
Wait.
yourself again, Fax.
Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Refax09, or you can just call me Fax. I really like the color green, and I played a lot of video games. I am, today in this campaign, I'm playing Rick, the Kobold Rogue. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I had
All right.
to mute desktop audio so that you guys weren't audible in the loading screen. I forgot to undo
Makes
it.
sense.
You should change that to Discord. I just don't even use desktop audio anymore.
Well, anyway, I'm Ashenthax. You can call me Ash. I'm a Storm Dragon VTuber. Today I will be playing Oromar Hammerfist, the Dwarven Monk.
Um, Hello, my name is Mars. You probably know me already a little bit. I play Worm-like Ash, a Tabaxi warlock of sorts who likes to be, well, a little bit mischievous and generally is friendly. But yeah.
Right. And finally,
Hi, I'm Tackless10. You can call me 10. I'm playing Big Booty Badonkadonks, a goblin, bard. No, I'm just joking. I'm playing Leovold Gallus, a half-elven cleric of Isoda. Yeah,
we'll just go with
excited
that.
to play.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
Oh, so the setting for this campaign is the Stormwreck Isle. It is a coastal island. It's volcanic in nature. It's not an active volcano right now. It's a fairly old island, so it's safe to traverse across. However, you four have boarded a ship that is heading to Stormwreck Isle. Each of you may have your own reasons for coming here, but you've all found yourselves in the same place at the same time. Many
In the same
people
boat, you could
come.
say.
Yes, you're all in the same boat. Many people come to this island to study or, converse with the learned scholar that lives here. You have heard of her. Her name is Runara. And she is the one that leads the sort of covenant or temple that is on the island that a lot of people travel to. So, as you are on the ship, there are 3 of you that you know of on this ship. What a odd situation that is. Where could the fourth be? Would you like to say where you are, fourth person? Rusty.
And I was trying to message you privately, but I don't know how to
Oh,
whisper.
okay. You could just DM me
no.
on Discord.
I guess that works too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, where they are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There we go. Yeah. So so the three, Warm Like Ash, Oromar, and Leoville, are all aware of each other. However, there's a certain little kobold that none of you have seen this journey, and you aren't aware that they're even on the boat, as they have stowed away. So, as you have made this journey, you have now reached the outskirts of the island, and the captain of the ship has come to talk to the three of you, and he says, "All right, this is as close as we get to the island. We're gonna have to send you three on rowboat to get all the rest of the way there. It's a bit too dangerous in these rocky waters for the large ship to make its way there, so you have to go in a shallow ship." And Rusty, you overhear them saying that.
All right.
So,
That'll work well enough.
Will the boat be returned, or will there be a one of your crew who ferries us there and brings your boat back, or will we have to find a way to send it back to you?
Oh,
Do you
no.
have more rowboats?
No. We'll have a sailor go with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I don't want to steal one of your boats.
Oh no, of course not. We make this trip many times. So,
Right.
the three of you are led up to the top dock towards the rowboat. And there's a waiting sailor on the rowboat, and he gestures for the three of you to get on board.
I look over the edge of the boat, look down at the water, take a deep breath, and then step in.
Mm.
I'm just going to hop myself right over the railing into the boat.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, Fax, this is a pivotal moment for you. What's your plan?
I sent you another message.
All right.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to like whisper to you and.
I think there's something like /GM whisper.
All right.
That's not how you spell whisper. Might just be GMW. Nope.
All right, wait.
I don't know. Doesn't work as it used to.
Let's ask
Back in my
my
day.
let's ask my best friend Google how to do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a way to
Okay.
do it.
Yeah, I think I found it.
But so that's what you want to do. But how do you want to do that? Oh, yep. I heard a
All right,
I heard
perfect.
a noise. Yep, I can see that. And it's got a border around it, so I assume no one else can.
I can't see it.
All right.
I cannot see.
Good. So, how would you all right. Okay. So then, I'm gonna have to ask you to roll. So this is, I should also probably mention, we're in late afternoon. The sun is starting to set, so the evening shadows are starting to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, can you give me a stealth roll then?
Sure.
All right, that's pretty good.
That's
So,
pretty good.
So as everyone is loading their stuff onto the rowboat, nobody manages to actually see it, but there is a little shifting shadow that works its way through, and one of the sailors is hoisting a bit of luggage over the side into the rowboat, and there's a little shadow that sort of follows it over and hides underneath the benches, positioned perfectly so that they're hidden from view between the luggage and underneath the the board that makes up the seat. So you have 5 people on this boat, but most of you don't know that. So you've stopped roughly around here. You can see the ping on the map here, actually.
Well,
Oh my
a
goodness.
newcomer, I see.
Let me press this button should do it. Here we are. So this is the map. So now we can have everyone see the map. So yes,
Do we have everyone in Roll20?
we
I
should.
believe so.
I believe so.
Ash,
Sometimes
Mars,
it doesn't
Ken.
show up for other people.
All right,
Fax
because
doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Fax
Fax,
doesn't
are
show
you,
up for
Are
me.
you in Roll20?
I'm in roll. I sent
Oh
you
yeah, you
messages,
sent me a
dude.
message. Yeah,
Yeah,
your
Roll
name
20
just yeah. Your
Roll
name's
20
just
doesn't
not at the
like
bottom of
being
the screen.
functional.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
so
I just wanted to
everyone's
double check.
Ping.
yeah. Everyone stopped like around this vicinity here. You can see my blue ping.
Ping,
and,
ping.
Yep. And the rowboat is going to sort of circumnavigate these islands here. You can see me drawing. And come right around to the coastal area there. That is where the Dragon's Rest Monastery is located. So, I don't know how to erase.
If it's on the
Clear
token
drawings,
layer, you
there
can
we go.
click and drag. Got that?
Alright. So, here. We should probably also put a little circle there for the Dragon's Rest area. Roll20 is difficult to use, huh?
Mhm.
It's not difficult to use. It's just problematic.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
You'll get used to it. You'll get the hang of it
Hopefully.
probably. Hopefully.
Oh, sure, I hope so. Alright.
I'm very used to finicky material to have to use with.
Alright. So, do you want to converse about anything? You've probably spent a little time with each other on the ship, but as you're rowing in, do you want to talk with each other about maybe why you're here or anything you want other people to publicly know as you're rowing up to the island? Alright.
Yeah, Mr. Ash is a quite sociable person, so I believe on the actual boat he would have conversed with most of you if you haven't locked away in the hull or like whatever. I don't imagine there being like passenger chambers because it's just a boat. But he's searched out every one of you and just introduced himself as Worm like Ash. He comes across as a very friendly individual, and he probably hasn't explained too much about himself. He has a way with words that likes to mess around with, well, working his way around not telling you the information that he's asking about you itself. So at this point he goes, well, we have met a little bit. I'm Warm like Ash. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. You can call me Ash if you so please. But what brings you all to such a remote island?
Leovold speaks up and says to some of you that that perhaps like maybe some of you call him Leo if he's spoken to you a bit on the boat. He's searching for a relic that has been lost to time and sounds like it's on this island.
A bit of a treasure hunter, or does it have more personal value to you than that?
It has great value to the Order of Benevolence from which I come from.
Ash gives a comfortable nod.
I've come to assist in the name of my own monastery to aid this land that is known to have been home to the founder of my school.
Ooh, how noble of you two.
Right. And as you...
And-
Hmm? Do you have
and
more to
to-
say?
Perhaps see if I can be a bit more accommodating of views from outside the monastery.
Not being stuck in an echo chamber is quite beneficial to all of us.
And if there's no more to say, as your conversation winds down, you sort of find yourself at the base of a cliff that has a winding path carved into the side of it. It's not a very steep cliff, but it is, it's definitely not climbable, you know, with bare hands and feet, unless you're particularly talented. But there is a path that is carved into it. There's a landing dock at the base, where you all can get out, and you will probably do so. So everyone is sort of unpacking their belongings. Fax?
As
Yes?
everybody gets ready to get off, I
Mhm.
just Rich just gets really excited to be on Stormwreck Isle and just doesn't even think about it anymore and just like starts to skitter out of the boat and just gets really like, ah, I'm here, Stormwreck. Suddenly there's a kobold.
Yes. Suddenly a kobold has scampered out from underneath one of the seats and scrambled onto the dock.
In a startled fashion, you see that Ash just immediately raises like a hand. It's kind of like those typical like old time like milkmaids screaming and holding their hands out towards a rat that just popped out from a shelf. But like he also started uttering something, but he stops himself as he notices there's no actual threat. And you go like, "Who the heck are you? What are you doing in this stowaway?"
Yeah. Yeah, the sailor that's come with you is like, "Hey, you little stowaway, what are you doing on my boat?"
I just shrug. Dragons.
Well, nothing to be done about it now, I guess. If you
Do you
want to
not
ride
have to
back,
pay
you have
the
to
ferry
pay for
fee?
it.
I feel scammed now. A secondhand scamming.
Perhaps this small creature could be useful in our search.
Well, they do seem quite sneaky, so are little I imagine that I know what a kobold is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
Little kobold man. Would you
Rich.
that I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce that. That's quite a difficult name. Are you at all interested in safety in numbers, perchance?
Sure.
Well, this isn't as much of a
Prodigious
adventuring
size
party as
alone does
I
not
would seem
dissuade
fit,
the
but
sharpened
for now,
blade.
our objectives align. So, I mean, I don't know how long the journey will be towards the monastery, but I believe we can, well, travel together for at least a little while. There's no real use in not doing so, right?
It is better to travel in a group, yes.
You sound smart. I trust you.
I'm very convincing at sounding smart. It's a very good skill of mine.
I am not.
Right. You're not. Well, that is unfortunate. I can do the talking in that if that's the case. Though then again, I'm not going to talk for you. I don't know you that well. Shall we and I gesture towards the path up towards. Can we see the monastery from where we're standing?
Yeah. So, here, let me really quickly bring everyone over to. You'll see a little bit more than you're meant to. Actually, wait, just a second. Here, let me. I can actually do something about that. I didn't think to set up fog of war for this area because it didn't seem like it would be necessary because it's not somewhere that you're gonna be fighting. Yeah. It's your little home base. But there we go. So then, if I drag this over here. Ooh.
Oh.
Can we see? Oh, right.
Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see the path.
Yeah, you have to scroll out a little as well.
Yeah.
So that it's all on screen.
There's big fog of war.
Yeah.
Like the top part is just fully black.
Yeah. Because you haven't gotten there yet. You're
Yeah,
you're
no,
you're
exactly,
off screen on the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
So
you said off-screen bottom left is where we are?
Yeah. So here, if I do this, you can.
I believe I see where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right, that's not what I meant to do. Where'd the reveal tool go? I should reveal more fog of war. Yes, you're under attack immediately.
That's a...
There we go. Oh, I selected polygon reveal on accident. Well, that's. I just got confused. This is actually a lot
Polygon.
easier.
It works really weirdly if you interlock lines, so don't do that.
Mm-hmm. There we go. You can just do that sort of thing. So this is basically what you see right now. There's like slightly more cliff.
Yeah,
around
It's like
the
one of the
side
normal type
like that.
things on like a Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the normal type on on Pokemon cards, huh?
Seems we have a rough travel.
Our first encounter is
rough
the
path of
Zigzagoon.
travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can see that there is a path that's hewn into the mountain. The building that you can see off to the right-hand side, this here, is sort of like built over the cliff slightly, and there's a winch hanging off of it that lowers down towards the water, and it seems like it can be used to bring up heavy cargo to the higher portion of the sort of settlement area.
My guessing is we don't get to count as heavy cargo.
Yeah. No.
We have to take the path.
Oh, you're taking the path, I'm afraid. So.
What's your footing, companions?
Yes. As you get out of the boat alongside your new little kobold friend, the sailor that went with you grumbles in annoyance and rows back out of sight.
Actually, I was thinking before he
Yes,
rows out of sight,
before he rows out of sight.
I would go ahead and hand him at least a few coins for the trouble of dealing with finding a stowaway there.
I wasn't gonna pay him.
All right.
It goes against how Oromar feels about that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not enough to cover the whole journey, but
Yeah. He says to you, it ain't your fare to pay. If you insist, he'll take it, but he's sort of holding up his hand to be like, it ain't your fare to pay.
much thanks, good seafarer.
Mm-hmm. All right. And he will row off, and as he rounds the corner, as you have sort of gathered up your luggage and are preparing to get back up to the Dragon's Rest. If you can organize yourselves into a single file line, who's going up first?
I'll go ahead and go up first.
I want to be first.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to be first? All right.
Nick's just gonna go ahead. You can
I
see-
will go either last or second to last.
Seems our stowaway is quite spirited.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be pretty spirited to stow away on a ship. It's an exciting place to get to. Huh? All right. But as you begin to make your way up the path, you hear a blurbing sound from behind you. And as you turn to see, there are the heads of sort of mushy-looking creatures crawling out of the water. And you can see that there is a group of zombies that are crawling out of the water behind you.
Oh.
There are 3
It seems
of
we're
them.
not quite alone.
All right.
Oh, then.
Seems the scourge of the undead has touched this isle too.
So make some room on the little left mini map so that I can drop some zombies in your
Yeah, I
behind
would
you.
also like to put my character down.
Yes.
Oh.
So also, this
yeah.
map doesn't have completely accurate grids.
I've noticed.
Yeah. All of the other encounter maps that I have accurate grids. This one I didn't bother because it's only this one zombie encounter and it's sort of just meant to be a taster sort of introduction.
How do I
thing
put my
that
character
happens.
on the thing?
So just click on your character and drag it over onto the map.
Okay. Like this. That's
Yes.
gonna do it. That's gonna
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
There's your little
Oh,
eye.
I forgot to describe what my character looks like
Yeah,
more than
you-
a character does.
Here, while
Sorry? Yes?
while we're setting up, feel free to describe what your character looks like, I guess.
Right. Ash, or Worm Like Ash, is a tall gray tabaxi figure who, kind of like a lynx, has that, or not, yeah, a lynx has those like sideburns, like flops, and like a goatee. He's got some markings on his face, pointy ears with pointy black ends at the top, a very tiny bushy tail, and wears a green gambeson like set of quote-unquote leather armor, but I flavor it as gambeson because that's pretty, and leather armor doesn't make sense. He has a spear on his back, and some other. I think his clothes are pretty fine, but underneath the gambeson, yeah, that's basically what he looks like. He also has a sickle, so he is armed to the teeth in a way.
All right.
You can
I'm setting some things
Does
up,
anyone
so,
else- does anyone
so
else
feel free to
Want to describe the
divulge.
characters? Or...
I'll go ahead and describe mine. Oromar is fairly average for a dwarf. He has silver grayish hair with his beard held in a simple braid. The beard, simple braid. His hair itself holds a number of different rings of metal. He's wearing gray and dull yellow robes, as well as some basic sandals that he often can be seen picking at like he doesn't want to be wearing them. And as we have the zombies coming up on us, he is actually pulling out a rather well-worn but obviously cared for hand axe.
Rick is just a little guy. He's the regular little kobold. Is about 2 feet 5 inches, and which is like 74 centimeters, and his scales are an orange that is very reminiscent of just like rust. He has he doesn't have much of a roguish attire. And he usually, like, when he is out in the open, he carries himself with like much enthusiasm, which he does like on this island especially. And he just like he has 2 short swords that he uses and readies as he notices danger approaching.
Nice. Leovol is wearing scale mail and also has a shield, so it's quite heavily encumbered. That's all covered by the cyan blue tabards of the Order of Benevolence, and is pretty average height for a half elf. Has a scar on one side of his face from childhood, and yeah, seems to be not clad in barely any jewelry at all.
All right. So, the zombies pulled themselves out of the water and began lumbering slowly towards you on this narrow path. Let's all roll initiative.
Don't forget to click the
Yay.
initiative button.
Yep.
And for those unaware of Roll20, click your token first.
Yeah, token first.
Yippee!
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's how that worked.
Yep.
The 4.
My players who have played for a whopping 20 sessions still forget.
I deserve this. I deserve this. Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness.
I
Up
deserve
first, we
that.
have Oromar. How would you like to respond?
I'm going to go ahead and quickly brush past. I cannot remember Tabaxi's
Ash.
name already.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's your
It's
name.
fine.
It's Ash. Okay, I'm going to rush past Ash, bringing my axe up to bear and going to swing it at the closest zombie.
Mm-hmm. Right. That is
That is an 8. I
Yes.
don't.
You roll a 12. I think
Yes.
the is. Oh no, that's the initiative. Yeah.
Hmm?
No, never.
Yeah.
Don't forget what I said.
That does actually just barely manage to clip the zombie.
Oh
Give
my
me some
goodness.
damage.
Yeah. Zombies are very little AC.
That's 6 slashing.
It's gonna be a tough encounter.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, the zombie sort of sputters and falls back, grasping at a wound that has appeared on its body, but it seems, it seems like it's still coming at you. You haven't quite dealt with the problem, I'm afraid.
I rolled quite low.
Alright. Next, we have Ash.
Is there 5 feet or more between me and the zombie? The closest one.
You're within melee range right now.
Okay,
So you're within
that is
5.
unfortunate.
Yes.
Right, okay. Then
I thought we
yes.
weren't actually like moving
Well,
ourselves on this though.
I mean, like
'cause of
it's a general approximation of what it looks like. I don't
Yeah,
remember if you guys are in the order that you said you were in.
I am.
Yeah.
I was at the
Whoever was at
back-ish.
the back is at the back, and whoever said they were at the front is at the front. This is sort of like this is sort of
I just
meant to
needed
be
to
a
rush forward.
yeah.
All right,
Um,
but it's a close enough approximation in this
Mhm.
case.
Yeah.
I will pull out one of my sickle,
Mm-hmm.
and I like pull it out and do it like I pull it. It's upside down, and I pull it out and do this cool little spin with it, and then hold one hand in front of me and go like, I'm not used to melee combat, and then I just do like a very unpracticed swing in like a downwards arc to try and shank it with my sickle. That's a pretty good. I
Oh,
think that
that's-
hits.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's close.
Nice. Minimal damage.
What is that a crit?
No.
No.
It
Okay,
goes
it's a
green
19.
if it's crit.
It's a 19.
Crits
Yeah.
are highlighted.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it turns green, it's a crit. If it turns red, it's a natural one.
Yeah,
But
I was
it's
mousing over it trying to find the actual number
Hmm.
that was rolled.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's
There it
a
is.
lot of text.
All right. It's not a
Yeah,
bad hit.
and that is my turn. No, it's well, I mean minimal damage, but the hit
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, no. There are several welts that have appeared on the frontline zombie's body.
I like the idea that Ash also goes like, "Please don't spill any of that rotten blood on me."
Yep.
And
Right.
that is my turn.
Rusty, you're up.
Can I make my way to the zombies? Is that since it's like
Uh,
so?
You're a like very small character, so you can sort of weasel
I'm
your
small.
way through. Hmm?
Yeah. All right. Perfect. I think I am like actually like small.
Yeah.
Built
Yes.
too.
Yes, kobolds are indeed small,
Mhm.
but despite being small, they also have a 30-foot movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm gonna approach the first zombie and just like hit that guy with my sword.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just make sure everything is set up
Yeah.
correctly.
The
Okay. Kidding me.
All right. That is
Don't know how you managed to miss.
an
I kid.
unfortunate miss, I'm afraid.
Well, I do have my second sword still.
Mm. You're
I
offhand.
completely forgot to do my martial
That is,
arts.
that is
I'm going. That's it for me for the night. It was fun, everybody. I will see you never.
Oh no, there he goes. Oh, there
I
he
am
is.
joking. I am joking.
unfortunately, just like trying to squeeze your way through, you can't quite get a good angle on any of this, and I'm afraid you just sort of scrape the ground a bunch. It sends up a bunch of
how?
sparks and makes the fight really cool, illuminated looking, but no hits on that front. All right,
I just need to roll better than the 2 twice,
Yeah.
and I didn't do it.
all right. And what is your dexterity, by the way? 10.
It should have calculated it automatically.
My dexterity?
Mine is 12.
Yeah. 10 is Leovol, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your dexterity is 12, you should go before the zombie, because zombies have dexterity of 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't
So
calculate it
you
like that.
should be first.
Okay.
That's how
Um,
I've always run it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do too.
Is higher
Yeah,
dexterity
both
for
are
wins.
calculated. Okay.
Maybe it's
Info
because
please
it's an
start.
NPC sheet. I don't know. All right. Yeah.
Pieces though, puts his stretches out his hand, putting his palm to the ground, pointing in between both. Was it Oromar? Oromar and Ash. And he goes, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today, in the remaining light of Lathander, the Morning Lord, to celebrate the union between Oromar and Ash." and he uses his emboldening bond.
Oh. Oh,
So
God.
you two are now bonded for the next 10 minutes, and you can add a D4 to any attack roll or saving throw.
Oh.
And yeah, that's the end of Leovol's turn.
I look towards Oromar. And I look at him.
It looks
And I look at him.
Yeah. We just share a look of confusion and just like, huh?
And you feel a bond between you, emboldening you.
I love it.
Alright, that's me.
All right.
He just like Ormur just casually throws a shout over his shoulder of, "We'll talk about this later." I really need to settle on an accent for this guy.
There's only one accent. Actually, there's 2 accents that I can do. I can do Scottish and my regular Dutch accent. It's awful.
Anyway, I guess that means it's the zombie's turn?
Yes, the zombie is up. The path is narrow enough that the zombies, being very uncoordinated and sort of difficult and shambling, they can only get at you one at a time. Unfortunately
Alright.
for them. So, the lead zombie is going to reach out with a clawed hand and take a swipe at Oromar. I say swipe, but its attack name is called Slam.
Yep. Uh-oh. Oh, thank fuck it's not an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to,
So-
yeah.
I'm guessing it's the 6, not the
Yeah,
23.
it's the 6. It's the
Yeah.
6. Just a second. I have to set
Usually
it to
when you
never roll
accidentally
against it.
have... Yeah, when you have, like, accidental advantage or disadvantage, you take the left number, because it doesn't sort it on, like, highest or lowest. It just goes first and second.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I made this token a while ago, and I forgot to disable the advantage roll, so now it'll just roll one at a time. Right. It takes one
lucky
slam.
me.
Yep.
Lucky me, it misses.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And now back to the top of the order, with Oromar himself.
And this time I'm going to remember my martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
So, having actually gotten myself steady and used to the situation, Oromar goes ahead and, having ducked the previous attack, comes up with a rising slash of the axe.
Alright, that is a hit.
For 9 damage.
It's a good chunk.
And from there, he launches a palm heel strike at the zombie as well.
What?
I have
Oh.
martial arts.
Oh,
And if I attack with a monk weapon or an unarmed strike, I can attack with an unarmed strike,
oh,
or I can make another attack as a bonus action.
A follow-up.
nice. I forgot that you were a monk. That's why I was so confused.
And you can add a D4 to these. I don't think...
Yeah, I've actually in the background, I'll admit, I've been half working on a hero forge
Oh,
so that I could have a slightly more accurate image.
That's such a good idea.
Anyway, that is 5 blunt damage on
Alright,
top of the
for
9
a total
slashing.
of 14 damage. Alright, just
Yep.
a second.
level
Alright.
1, that's pretty impressive.
So the frontmost zombie, after the immediate onslaught of blows and slashes, is immediately crumpled to the ground and falls limply.
And with that done, I will go ahead and step over the corpse
Alright.
so that I will block the path for those behind me. Mostly keep zombies away from Ash and
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Ash and wonderful.
No, there's no
and
person called
wonderful.
wonderful. I meant wonderful that you kept them away from me.
My favorite character, Wonderful.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names.
Oh, I am when I am exhausted, and it's late, and I've had 3 sessions of D&D, so it's...
Luckily,
Yeah.
we have Leovold Gatus in the
Okay.
chat.
That's true.
All right. Yes, Leopold. For Ash and Leopold, I'm blocking.
Yes.
Alright. Should
Why
be...
did my name suddenly appear?
I'm
Yeah, it's-
changing your tokens.
Don't
Okay.
forget that you can all... I think only we can view our own tokens. There should be a little triple dot that shows to everyone. Next to the setting of nameplate, I think. I don't know. While that's happening,
Yeah.
yes.
I know
Can you
something
all
else I
only
can
see
do
your
that
own
might help.
names? Oh yeah, I can't see
Correct.
them on the viewer. Alright. It's
Here, I can make
wild.
it a little bit easier. There, my display name is now Orimar.
You know, that's a good idea.
Okay, here we go. I figured out how to let everyone see names.
Nice. Hold on.
It's been so long since I've used this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Now there's 5 feet between me and a zombie.
Yes.
So I'm going to put my sickle in my offhand, and then I'm going to raise my hand, much like I did with when I got scared by Mr. Good. Hold up. I need to
Rusty?
scroll in a little.
Rusty.
No. Rusty? All right.
Yep.
With Mr. Ricks. And the hand starts glowing a greenish energy, and then it just shoots out faster than your eyes can see as I cast Eldritch Blast. And it should have a D4 attached to it because of the emboldening bond. So, where is it? Eldritch Blast. That is a 19 to hit.
Mm-hmm. And it sure does.
Eldritch Blast, 8 force damage. That's a pretty good roll. So it slams it in the face, and then it like probably stumbles a little bit because it's a zombie. And then I will look behind me and go like, "Would you like some more space, Mr. Rix?" And then I'll try to like swap positions with him, or not swap positions with him, but like move myself back on the map a
Yeah.
little bit.
Just get a little
So-
further back.
I
Yeah,
haven't moved my token just because.
Yeah.
yeah. There's too
and
little space.
Yeah. It's a zombie that's been underwater for a while, so it's pretty soft, and part of its face just sloughs off of it after your
Ugh.
Eldritch Blast hits it.
Ooh, it's like those zombies in Minecraft. What the ones with the tridents?
Or the Drowned, I
What?
think their name is.
Yeah, I think they're named the
Yep,
Drowned.
that would be the drowned.
Yeah.
Right?
They make wonderful noises.
Yes, and that
That's my turn, by the way.
that
That's
zombie took a good chunk of damage.
I'm gonna move
Alright.
my token up a little bit.
Yes, and it is your turn, Rusty.
All right. Rusty's a little mad at what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
I would
So he's
be
gonna,
too.
he's gonna let out his draconic cry.
Oh,
Because I'm pretty sure both of those, like, making sure that both of those zombies are like within 10 feet. Which they should be, I feel like. So now whenever we attack either of them, we get advantage.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna use my regular action to attack the one that's still, like, the one at the front that was just hit by the Eldritch Blast, I guess.
All right.
There we go.
And that is a hit.
That's
And
not
that's a
piercing. That's max damage.
All right.
Sneak attack.
Well,
That's
emboldened,
you get-
attack.
emboldened by the rage and embarrassment of missing your first attack, your draconic war cry
Oh, wait.
empowered slash.
Sneak attack is like based on advantage, right?
Yeah.
It's based on
Yes.
advantage allies that
Yeah,
are close, or
It's-
when you're sneaking.
Yeah, it's if
Oh,
you have
right.
advantage or an ally within 5 feet of the target you're attacking, if I'm remembering
I
correctly.
forgot. Then
Alright,
that's,
Oh, nice. Nice.
that's 15 damage then. I forgot about. Yeah, I was thinking about the sneak part of the attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Forgot-
Sneak
Advantage
attack
is
is
like
not
advantage.
actually sneaky. It's just extra damage. All right,
Yep,
just a
It
second.
just gets activated based on advantage.
All right. So, even extra angrier and less embarrassed, you take your what are you using? A sickle or a sword?
Short sword.
Short sword? Okay. You take your short sword and you manage to cleave his legs straight off, and as he falls to the ground, you can hit him in the vital parts, and the zombie just stops moving entirely, falling off.
Just
Dead.
rolling max damage on this fucking crazy.
Yeah,
action.
casually.
Completely missing.
Level 1, 15 damage.
All right.
Remember, everyone has advantage on the last one too.
Yup.
Leovol, you're
Until
up.
the end of my next turn.
Vivo pulls out
The start of my next turn. Sorry.
crossbow and fires it at the remaining one. So with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
With advantage.
Well,
Oh,
All right.
Okay,
The
nice.
crossbow sails right between Rusty and Ormar and hits the zombie.
Minimal damage. Let's go.
Nice.
let's go. That's how I
I-
felt with my sickle.
Unfortunately, it's
while
not
I
a
enjoy that.
very well aimed. It didn't hit a particularly vital part of the zombie, and he sort of just shrugs it off alone. Stumbles forwards to take the place of his fallen zombie companion. And now it is his
That
turn.
equation looks fucked up.
Which equation?
If you
The-
hover
the
over the
damage?
2
Oh,
piercing
yes.
damage, it looks real messed up. It rolls 1d0.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that either.
I think that's just to add the critical.
It's
Yeah.
every
It's adding
I don't know.
something there.
Yeah,
All right.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think there's-
Yeah.
it's strange. Yeah. It should still calculate correctly,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, with that weird thing in there.
Oof.
Yeah, I think that's just to like add crit damage or something.
All right, and this zombie stumbles forwards towards Ormar and sort of gesticulates haphazardly in your general direction, but nothing actually manages to connect.
Undead don't have the
That's-
best eyesight.
It's your turn to take revenge on this zombie for lightly caressing you.
I batter away one of its hands and swing in my axe for a body blow.
Oh,
That's a
oh,
critical
well,
hit.
crit
advantage,
hit.
advantage doesn't even matter.
Advantage doesn't matter. I forgot about advantage, but
You also have a D4 to add to that, so that could be a 30 to hit if you'd like.
no, I think I'm good.
Oh,
So that's a 9 on that damage. And then I using the momentum of my swing around and launch a
Roundhouse.
kick into the zombie as well.
Follow up spinning roundhouse.
Yup. Just gotta actually hit advantage.
Damn, Master Dwarf has some moves.
Oh,
God!
how does he do it?
Shit.
What?
Here's me complaining about never getting crit. This motherfucker does it twice in a row.
oh, and that's
Oh,
Another 9.
that's another 9.
dang.
All right. Well, this zombie is
Doesn't he-
pretty rough right now.
Oh,
Unfortunately, you didn't manage to kill it, but you have severely injured this thing.
Damn.
It's
Oh my.
one of its arms is just hanging on by a ligament, and its rib cage has been crushed, but it's still
it's like a perfect time to fireball.
Yeah.
grasping forwards with its one good arm. Right, and now it's Ash.
Alright,
I'm gonna
Would you
pull out
like
Old
to-
Faithful. Yes, I would like to use my Eldritch Blast. That's a 16 to hit.
All right, and it
It's not
does.
as impressive as the 2 natural 20s, but here you go, 3 force.
All right.
I
How-
think
yeah.
it survives.
Yes. Despite the fact that your blast looks like it should have finished it off, the zombie sort of, as it's falling over, stumbles back forwards and continues onwards.
That's quite unnatural. Do that again, Oromar, please.
All right. Rusty, you're up.
Alright, we're gonna get this guy, hopefully. Just gonna attack him.
Nope, and you can add. All right, you don't have to.
What are you saying, advantage? The draconic cry is over now.
Yeah. Well, you all. Or yeah. Good point. All right.
Yeah, so I don't have advantage from that.
Yes. 4
It's
piercing.
4.
All right.
And then I can also hit him.
So, so your short sword attack again. This zombie's so persistent. Oh,
All right.
it just
then I
keeps
guess-
getting back up. You can't keep this guy down.
You
I
have to be
always
kidding
come
me.
back.
Oh wait, why did it roll it twice? It actually
Didn't for me.
It did on
it shows,
mine.
it shows twice on
Oh,
my
it
screen.
does. All right. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
The first roll's a 21 though.
Yeah, the first roll's a 21.
Like, come on.
Join the club.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Bad
I
con,
mean-
bad con, bad con.
Hey,
Nope.
probably. No.
No, it rolled a 6. It was a bad roll, but that was low damage.
Unfortunate.
It needs.
Please, just kill it already. It's so ugly.
That's the thing about zombies, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
You managed to dispatch those last two so easily. And this one's
You
just...
had high damage on those.
It's missing so much of its flesh.
It's gonna turn into a skeleton stat block in just
Yeah.
a moment.
Alright. We
It
evolve.
gains the short sword and the
You're up
short bow for
last.
some reason.
Okie dokie. Well, hopefully last.
Well,
Here we
until the next round of initiative.
And deal decent damage. Let's go. 4.
Come on, come on.
Alright. This is
Really mess up.
No whammy, no whammy.
Alright, it just has to
Big
roll a
whammy.
1.
Nope.
Nope.
Not quite.
Nope.
Is the zombie noise.
The eternal
Bro.
zombie encounter.
God, these creatures.
Mm-hmm. It's... Oh. You guys are almost perplexed at this point. Leoval, as a cleric, I assume you might know that zombies are very weak to radiant damage, if you have any sources of that.
Oh, true. Oh,
Alright. But anyways, it's the zombie's turn. And it's going to... It's just... Whoa, bull rush. Oromar trying to get a little bit of damage in. Oh, and that's a 15. Does that hit you, Oromar?
No, it does not.
Alright.
No.
And
That
it
is unfortunate.
just misses. This is the angriest zombie you've ever seen. He's so injured, and he's so full of rage. But now it's your turn again, Oromar.
Hit him again,
This,
pussy. Do
this
it.
clown fiesta of a zombie stomping has gone on too long, you say.
All right. With some muttered cursing and maybe a small prayer towards Bahamut, he is going to swing at this zombie.
Trying to knock him
Oops.
out of the park.
That's 8.
That's a hit.
Because I forgot to turn off.
Yeah, but no, 8 is a hit.
8 is a hit. I forgot.
It's the lowest possible hit.
So that's 7 slashing damage.
Come
Let's
on.
see.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
And it's still there.
It's still there.
I'm gonna punch it.
All right, that's a hit. 8.
Come on. Come on.
Whoa.
Please tell me to knock its block off. I
Oh
do
my
not.
god.
1 HP in a dream
it's
is what
still-
they call this.
It's still hanging on.
This is what happens when a bunch of level 1s attack a zombie.
Mhm.
It hasn't killed us yet, though, so
Yeah.
we're okay.
it's just a punching bag.
It's just tiring.
At this point, it's just here to expend all your resources. It's here
Time
to
to
gobble
cast
up everything.
Fire ball.
Classic level 1 spell fireball.
Yeah,
Level 1.
as we all know.
But anyways,
Got a scroll fireball. Yes.
Warm
you
like
know what I'm
ash.
gonna do? I'm going to put my hands into finger gun motion, and I go like, "It's time to end this," and then pew it, and I will attempt to hit them with it.
you've disgraced this
not
world
advantage.
with your presence long enough, foul beast.
Get this filth out of my sight. Oh,
Oh,
there we
that's a
go.
crit.
It can't get up from this
Yeah.
one.
Let's go.
But I'm gonna roll for damage anyway.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yes.
I've had my fill of crits now. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, DM.
All right,
DM,
and
D&D.
with that final blast, you obliterate this last zombie to pieces. Oh, it took so
I should
long.
have I should have pulled out the one-liner sooner.
Mhm. Yes.
That's what did it. Yeah.
So,
Good old Mars, the
with
one-liner
that
general.
final blast, this zombie shatters to pieces. And is
That was a
strewn
lot
upon
easier
the
than I
ground.
thought it was.
So,
Well, yeah.
yes. After all of this, I mean, you're allowed to converse if you'd like after this, since
Do
it
these
sounded
zombies
like
have
you were
anything
going to
on
say
them?
something.
Yeah, do the zombies have anything on them?
Nothing important. Most of, they've been in the water for a while, so they've worn down, basically, and their clothes are very patchy. So anything heavy in them would have broken through. So the if you're looking for any coins, those are at the bottom of the ocean, I'm afraid.
It's quite unusual to see undead come out of the water in my books, but then again, I'm not much of an adventurer myself, so...
I believe something to be wrong here. And Oromar's taking a piece of cloth out of his pack to wipe down his axe.
That's not Nova?
Normally the dead don't rise. Normally.
Huh.
I'm becoming more and more posh as the session goes on.
All right. So, as your conversation sort of peters out, and you turn to climb back up the stairs, you will notice that the commotion that has been caused has attracted some people down from from inside of the various rooms in the area here. Now that you are where you guys are, let me do some review. My least favorite thing about the reveal tool is that when you click on it, it doesn't close the menu.
Yes. Oh.
So, you can see that there are several rooms carved into the side of the mountain. These aren't like houses that are built on top of the mountain, as you may assume based on the appearance. These are carved into the side of the mountain. Because this is a near sheer cliff face that you are moving alongside of. You can see...
As any good cliff-based dwelling should be.
Yes. So, in the center, marked by the little diamond, is
The Pokemon TCG normal
yes,
type?
the Pokemon TCG normal type energy icon is a statue. It's a statue of a dragon. So, yes, you would probably recognize this dragon. Or wait, no, you wouldn't recognize this one.
I run up to the statue.
Yeah. If you want
Very
to
excitedly.
do a intelligence check, you can see if you know who this dragon is. But it is a bronze dragon, a member of the metallic family.
Your intelligence?
Ash does
Intelligence
walk
Arcana.
around.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, the commotion has sort of roused the attention of the inhabitants. That is not a success. That is also not a success. That is not a success.
And -1.
We roll all of our natural
And that is
20s
not
into
a
combat.
success.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
None of you
We're
know
all
who
fucked.
this is a statue
We
of.
have no idea. None of us are intelligent in the slightest.
It's a dragon.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
a bronze
Ash-
dragon. You
Ash
can
is
tell
walking
that.
around this. Ash is walking around the statue, just enjoying the fine arts.
Yes, but the commotion with the zombie encounter will have caused on the last 2 rooms here, a gaggle of kobolds have come out, and they're all staring you down. And immediately upon, seeing all of you surrounding the statue, they'll all sort of rush up to you and start asking you questions.
Friends of yours?
There are 8 of them in total that you can see. And they're all just rushing around you, being like, "Oh, where did you come from? What are you here for?" And they're all just like overlapping questions, not giving you a second to speak. And then from around the stairs, you see a small figure approaching. She is a stout little gnome. She has very, tanned bronze skin and white hair. She's fairly old, from what you can tell.
Runara, I presume.
Yes. This is Elder Runara, and she says in a very loud voice, Now, dears, please don't bother our new guests. Please. Come speak." And she walks over to you, and she's... she says, "Thank you so much for dealing with those zombies. I hate to get the rest of the people involved with that nasty business that's happening. But, I welcome you. I've been waiting for your group to arrive for a little while. But I'm glad to see you've all made it safely. It's been rather dangerous, and we haven't allowed guests for quite a little while now. But,
As the
business?
yes, how long has this nasty business happened, and what else except for the zombies have been going on in this little village?
It's mainly been problems with zombies, I'm afraid. It hasn't been a problem. Every now and then, for the past, few decades or so, they'd come up every so often. But over the past few months, it's been happening more and more frequently, I'm afraid. And we're not quite sure what's causing it.
Well, hopefully with our arrival, we shall be able to help put the restless dead to rest.
Oh, if you wouldn't mind, that would be quite helpful. Of course, you've all come to this island. One of the all right, so, talking out of character, one of the main reasons that people will come to this island, and the thing that you kind of have to sign up for, is to learn the general history and the what is it, practices of the culture here. So it's sort of like an educational field trip, but for dragon religion. Here, just a second. I will also do this.
Rick gets very visibly excited
So,
to be learning about.
yes. Also,
the
there's
names of all the kobolds.
yes. There is also one other kobold that is with Elder Runara. And there are also 2 other figures that come down behind Runara as well.
One of them is really close to my guy's name.
Yeah. So, Runara has one kobold that is like her personal attendant, and the other ones are just sort of general workers in the area.
Seems like she's enslaved the kobolds.
Yes. And coming down behind Runara is a dwarven woman called Varnoth, and a tiefling man called Tarak. But they're a bit more used to pilgrims, basically, that are come to this island. So they aren't really bothering you too much, and you see Varnoth will head back up the stairs to resume what she was working on after she sees what happened. But you only see them from a distance, so you haven't really interacted with them. Tarak is sort of waiting off in the wings so that Runara can finish introducing herself and talking about everything. So, let's see. Did you want to talk about anything specifically with Runara? Any of you?
A dragon. I point to the statue. Cool.
Oh, this dragon. This is a statue of the. Just a second. I need to scroll down so that I can get its name properly. Ah, there we go.
Consult the lexicon, if you will.
Yes. This is
Scroll
the Dragon Astalagran. He's the founder of this church, and I'm afraid he died in this not this very spot, but further up the cliff, a number of centuries ago. We built the current temple around the location of his death.
A little bit sidetracked off the dragon thing. What these troubles? You said they come around every so few years.
Yes.
Do you know what the source of that is? Do you have any vague idea that what is causing the dead to rise?
We aren't quite sure. Varnoth would probably be the one you want to ask about that. She's the one that tends to deal with the worst when they make it all the way up to the dwellings. Normally they don't get up the stairs. They tend towards the water more often than anything. But she's the one that deals with the more aggressive ones that make it all the way up to our dwellings.
Would it be okay if I go and talk to her?
Oh, if you wouldn't mind waiting a little bit, I would like to show you around first. I don't want anyone to get
All right.
lost here.
That
Yes,
is a
please,
fair
we
point.
would very much appreciate a guide at this time. And may I please extend greetings from the Istaria Monastery from the north.
Oh, yes, of course. We're welcoming to all other faiths here, and we would like to share as much knowledge and information between each other as possible, of course.
Bahamut's keep you, my lady.
Yes, and you too. The temple up the slope is a temple to Bahamut, as you may know.
Luckily, I happen to worship Bahamut.
Yes. So, now that general pleasantries have been exchanged, she's going to point out everything in the immediate area. By the way, you all should, I believe, have permission to edit the file that I have shown to you all, so you can, if you want to collaboratively enter as much information on characters as you want, just for note-taking reasons, in case we leave a session and you guys need to remember stuff. But yeah, if you want to designate a note taker, if you all want to do it collaboratively, go ahead.
There is a small problem with Roll20 and editing notes at the same time. If one person saves it and then the other saves it, it updates to the last saving. So if I put in extra information on Elder Runara and enter it, while someone else is typing stuff about Tarek and then enters that, the Elder Runara stuff goes away and Tarek comes in.
Yeah, I assumed Roll20 didn't have the best note-taking features,
No.
so yeah.
It does not.
Yeah. So.
Just one person working on it at a time would be best.
I mean, we just talk about it openly when we're okay, we should add this to the thing. Who's gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm not very good at note taking, so I'm happy to divulge that task to someone else.
Yeah. So.
No, I'm going to go ahead and make note that Varnoth is the one that typically deals with
Good idea.
Zombies. Yep. All right. So.
And was Varnock the tiefling or the other
Varnoth
one?
was the dwarven
Right,
woman.
okay.
Yeah, we should add that too.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, both Varnoth and Tarek are all of them are fairly elderly. They're in their twilight years, most of them. They have retired to Dragon's Rest to keep things going, sort of.
Retired to do another job instead.
Yeah.
They're minor notes. I'm not super great at notes, but I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes. So, Runara points out each of the rooms. The first one on the left. So the first room on the left there is currently unoccupied. You're allowed to use it as you will. It's a bit cramped. I don't know that all 4 of you will be able to fit. But we do also have rooms up at the temple, if anyone wishes to stay there for the night. It's not the most comfortable, I'm afraid, but we don't get too many visitors at once, I should mention. Next room on the left is, that is Tarak's room. He is our sort of gardener and botanist. He handles the gardens upstairs, up on the top level. You'll probably meet him. He's a very nice man, very gentle. Second is Varnoth. Of course, I mentioned her previously. She's, she's not the warrior she used to be, but she's definitely able to handle a zombie every now and then. The middle room, or 4th room, I suppose, that is Mila's room, my assistant. She works with me and she needs a lot of storage space to store her crafts and tools and whatnot. So she has
Well, a
she has
newcomer, I
access to
see.
a lot of the storage spaces. And the other 8 kobolds, they share the other rooms. They don't... as far as I can tell, I haven't seen them keeping any sort of semblance of, accurate room keeping. They sort of seem to swap out whenever they feel like it. So then she moves along, and you're able to meet up with Tarok, the tiefling. As you walk past, he's been standing by at a distance. As you approach him, you can see he is dark blue skinned. He has auburn hair and a full beard. It's very gray streaked. If you look closely, you can see very sort of abstract looking tattoos on his skin, sort of coming out from behind his clothing. And he speaks to you, and he's like, "It's very nice to have new people come into the island. If you need any help, please feel free to ask me anything you need. I've just finished tending to the gardens for the day, and I'm about to retire to my room, but my door is open to you as long as I'm not asleep." And then he will walk past you if anyone wants to say anything to him. If not, he will
Seems
go to
lovely.
his room.
I'll give basic thanks for the offer of assistance.
Mm-hmm.
I
For the
will,
hospitality.
yeah, I will bow softly, like not a super extensive bow, just
Yep.
a nod of the head.
He is appreciative. He,
I kneel between all of the kobolds and I'm like, gentle friends, and I show them a sketch of the relic that I'm looking for.
mm-hmm.
Have any of you seen anything that looks like this?
Yes, the gathering of the gaggle of kobolds. Right. So they'll look around it. Just a second. So notably, it is the 8 kobolds that are there. The one everyone but Mila, basically, because Mila is with Runara. She sort of like trails around with Runara, shadowing her every movement, and the other 8 are much more excitable and very interested in the new people. But all of them sort of look at it and just, looks very pretty, but no, don't know. Afraid not, don't know. And none of them seem to be very familiar with it.
Seems my search isn't going to be that simple.
Yes, afraid not.
Searches rarely are, but that does give some room for excitement, doesn't it?
At least we know it's not here.
Right. Revealing areas that I've previously polygon revealed is difficult. I just have to get all of the
Oh yes.
the extra little bits and bobs. All right. You know what's also difficult? Revealing areas. Because if you drag your
Oh,
cursor
yes.
off the edge of the screen, it stops like trying to
Oh,
reveal
yeah.
the area.
It's so nice to hear a quote-unquote new DM struggle with all these issues that have been struggling for months, years even. It's
I
so
feel
bad.
like it used to be easier. All right.
No.
Actually, could we ask Tarek what
Tarek?
like plants he grows?
Yeah. Yeah, so you catch Tarek just as he's about to enter his room, and you ask him that. And he's like, "Oh, I just grow general crops, mostly fruits and vegetables for the health of the community and to supplement all of our fishing and other stuff, just to round out everyone's diets. But I also have a sort of side hobby of brewing potions. I usually trade with the myconoids on this island, but they haven't been very cooperative lately. I'm not sure why.
Oh, my goodness. Mushroom people.
Yes, correct.
Do you happen to have any potions that we could purchase from you?
Oh, you certainly wouldn't need to purchase any of them. It's a hobby, as I say. I just enjoy trading with the myconids and tinkering with my little vials and concoctions. But since you are going to be helping out the community, I'll happily provide them for free if you head out into dangerous areas. I don't want any visitors of ours getting hurt.
Oh, very kind of you.
Mm-hmm. And he nods to you, and he's like, "Well, if you're ever heading out somewhere dangerous, come meet up with me, and I'll give you what I've got."
Thank you for
I
your
will
assistance.
Nod his head and retreat into his room. By the way, none of the rooms here don't have doors. We're in a fairly like what is it called? Moderate climate. It's not quite tropical, but it's like it's the area of environment between tropical and temperate. I think that's called moderate, but I don't remember. My high school geography knowledge isn't quite as good as it used to be. But we're in an area where like the coldest it'll get like during the winter is like, I don't know. Here, most of you are not Fahrenheit users, so I think probably around like 18 degrees Celsius would probably be the coldest it
Oh, that's
gets here
pretty.
in winter.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's pretty high for its coldest.
Yeah.
And
I was going to
for Fahrenheit
berate-
users, I think it like around 50-ish.
I was going to
like
berate
high
you for
40s
just
into
using freedom
50s.
numbers.
Yeah. Like I am aware of the general temperatures of
Hmm.
Celsius. But
Yeah.
like I don't know them like,
No.
It's not a
Yeah, I get it.
temperature system I've ever measured with in my life, but I know the general idea of like where is warm, where is cold.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
As long as we don't use Kelvin, then we should be fine, right?
Yes.
You guys don't
It's,
use Kelvin on a regular day basis?
No. Never.
Yes. As you
No, nay, never.
As you continue up the path, you pass the winch house, which you sort of gleaned from seeing it from down below, but Runara explains to you anyways that it's used to hoist up heavy loads, and then further around the cliff. So this is the switchback. So once you reach the like winch house, it's an immediate like 180-degree curve back and up. And the first building you see, or not building, but inlet into the cliffside is, so this is the kitchen. All of the members of, the Dragon's Rest community take turns cooking. And we'll cycle through each of the residents here. So it's a new experience every day. It keeps us on our toes. And you can see you can look through there and there's a small kitchen and there's a long dining table in there. And the
Wait.
next, yes,
The way you pronounce or the way you phrase that sounds like certain individuals aren't quite as good at cooking as others are.
well, not to be rude or anything, but some of us are exceptional here.
I see. I'll look forward to the experience.
Yes.
Rich has no idea what she means by that.
Yes. The next building you see is the only one that has a proper door. Every other building you've seen has had a curtain hanging over the entrance that can be like sort of like clasped in place in case of like heavy winds or rain or anything like that. But this is the only building that has an actual door, and Runara explained, so this is the library. It has to be kept sealed most times because we don't want any of the sea breeze getting in and ruining the books inside. But you're welcome to come in at any time. I spend most of my time either in the library or in the temple up ahead. So if you ever have need of me, I'll be in one of those two locations. But the library is open at any time of day if you seek knowledge within. Right. And then, does anyone have any questions about the library?
What kind of information is stored generally within this library?
Dragons?
What was that?
Dragons?
Oh, we do have plenty of information on dragons. Mainly religious texts in here, although we do have various instructional manuals. People have, brought various offerings of books and scriptures over the years, so we have many different religious scriptures in here. As I said, we seek to, share our knowledge and take in the knowledge of other religions and, communicate with others.
Might we acquire an overall map of the island?
Oh, yes, of course, of course. We have several of those prepared in case of, any, sorry, the word is escaping me. What is it called? Pilgrims. No? Give me a thesaurus on pilgrims.
Mormons?
No.
Travelers. Visitors.
It's one that has specifically religious connotations, though.
Oh,
But like pilgrim, like I think pilgrims is the closest I can get. Yes, just in case any pilgrims want to take a look around the island, I'll have marked any dangerous locations that are on the mainland.
acolytes?
Hmm?
Acolytes?
Pilgrims might
Is
have
that
been the
not-
word I was looking for. Let's just stick
Alright.
with that.
Okay, sorry.
There are several wild animals and dangerous locations on the island that most people want to steer clear of, especially some of the more like fiercely territorial animals that are on the inland. And finally, you reach the second switchback here. So you are nearing the top of the cliff, but as you switch back around all the way, you have reached the top of the cliff. Off to your right, you can see Tarak's sort of fields and gardens. They're fairly sizable. It's a small community, but you need a fair bit of food to feed the people here, and he's able to grow mostly year round, so it's fairly sustainable. And then let me reveal the final area. Come on.
You got this.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
So-
there you go.
The final area here is the Temple to Bahamut. It is a open-roofed temple. There isn't actually like that many walls to it. It's a lot of like pillars and like half walls and sort of an open area. And as you approach the temple, you can see a large statue depicting Bahamut, the platinum dragon, in the center of it. That is what the Pokemon basic energy symbol is.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, it is Bahamut in mortal guise, because as most of you would probably know, especially like the people that are familiar with this religion, dragons can take mortal form, or not mortal form, but they can take the form of a
Humanoid?
humanoid. Yes. Yes. So as you go into the temple, you can feel a nice serene warmth, and you can also remember that this was the location where the bronze dragon who founded this area, this is where he died, and they built the temple around his death site.
Offer a quick brag.
Yep. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna start sniffing the ground and then hug it.
Yes.
Ash is going to again not inspect but just admire the fine arts of statue creation. So he, even though he's not experienced in masonry, he likes to look at statues and how well they are designed and etc.
Yeah. So, interestingly, also up here at the temple is where you see Varnoth. She has a chisel and tools in hand, and she's making various repairs and things to the temple walls and pillars. But you can also see that, again, because there are no like strict walls in this area, you can see off to the side, like over here-ish. You can see that there is a collection of, large and small boulders of all shapes and sizes that have sort of rudimentary, like, statues and figures carved into them, sort of half-formed, most of them. But they're just sort of sat there in the background near the temple, and a lot of them are sort of religiously significant figures, sort of thing, like friezes and busts and whatnot. Nothing like exceptionally made, but they're fine crafts. But also back to the temple main, the statue to Bahamut is sat on a pedestal with a bunch of with 4 divots in the cardinal directions that each have incense burnings on them. And yeah, that's about all of the details that are.
And I imagine that especially this middle statue is of quite high quality, or is it more a little bit?
No, the statue in the center is exceptionally well made. It's been standing there for several centuries at this point. It was erected shortly after the establishment of the church, after the death of the bronze dragon Astalagan. Here,
What a
let me-
name!
let
I can
me-
only think about Estelle from Elden Ring. Estelle again.
It's just Estelle again.
Like,
No?
they really like reusing their assets even in other media.
Yeah. I just want to have just a second. I'm going to edit your sheet really quickly. Actually, wait. I can just type that on the map. Never mind. Because there's a text tool.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there is.
God, that text size is small.
I
Hang on.
think you can
Is it?
change
Yeah,
that.
you can, but it's just like the base text size is nothing.
Yeah.
So increase your text size.
Honestly, I'm already zoomed in
Oh.
enough that
Oh,
the
oh.
text size was
Maybe that's a bit
okay.
much. All right,
That's good. I like that.
there we go. What is the statue of Astalagan?
Wonderful.
Because the name is a bit harder to remember than Bahamut, I think.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Bahamut, Ormar is like bowing to and reciting a litany towards the statue.
Yes, of course. As any devotee should. All right. So.
I listen
Yes.
to what he's saying.
Mhm.
Once he's done, I ask him, "Wait, what is that?"
What is what?
What are you saying?
It is a simple prayer of thanks for safe travels to the Lord Bahamut, spoken in Draconic.
It's clear that we have some religious folk among us.
Yes.
With a slight air of sarcasm, Ormar does go, "You don't say."
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being a little religious or a lot religious, as long as it doesn't, muddy your path.
I try to recall what you said, and
Would you
Kinda
not
like-
speak Draconic as well? You're a kobold.
I do, but I don't understand like the concept of like the praying. I think
Mm-hmm. Okay.
so. Like that's what I was asking. Like, why are you saying that right now in this way?
Mm-hmm.
Was like kind of the question, more but expressing myself. You know,
Yes.
I do have low intelligence and
Hey,
wisdom,
all good, all good.
so I'm just trying to like do that.
I cast guidance on you to help you understand.
Technically.
So Runara follows the rest of you in here, and she says to the rest of you, and this is, finally we have the temple to Bahamut, built around the site of the death of Astalagan, the founder of this rest we have here. You're allowed to come up here at any time. I will spend most of my time during the day in here, but feel free to pray to the statue or just bask in the atmosphere if you'd like. But it is getting, rather late in the day, so if you would like to rest, please feel free. We have some cots that can be brought out into the temple area, if you don't mind sleeping under the stars. But if you'd rather somewhere a bit more enclosed, the library has benches with padding that can be slept on as well. But that's only if you don't mind sharing the space with me during the night a little bit, as I tend to read pretty late.
I do not have such refined things as a bedroll, so I wouldn't dislike a cot. I would like to sleep here. It's peaceful. I quite enjoy the sight of the stars, and it doesn't appear to be raining anytime soon.
You have, so just a reminder, you have 3 places you can stay. There's the bedroom down below. That is the one empty room that is reserved for guests. You can sleep on the benches in the library, as long as you don't mind sharing space with Runara until a bit later in the day, as long as you can fall asleep in that sort of condition. And there are cots that can be slept in the temple. So, I mean, it's not important that you decide where you're going to sleep, but just to be known that those are your options.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
take a bedroom. A guest bedroom.
Stars.
Yes. And as So remember, you got here in the sort of later afternoon, but now the sun is truly starting to set, and since it's getting dark, Varnoth, who was working in the area on making sure that the foundations and the walls of the temple were, standing well, sort of nods to the rest of you and bids you good day as she walks past. And now that you're close to her, you can get a much more close view of her. Yeah. So Varnoth is a dwarven woman. She has close cropped black hair, very short. She has tanned brown skin. She is very heavily scarred, and you can notice that one of the scars goes directly over her left eye, and she is blind in that eye. It is a milky white, and she is missing her right leg. So she walks with a bit of a limp, and she has a prosthetic.
Oh my.
Varnoth, if I may just a moment, I will let you go to rest tonight. I don't want to keep you here for long. I was wondering if I, maybe in the morning, could inquire a little bit about what you do and don't know about the undead rising from down below.
Yeah.
Is anyone writing down the info, by the way? Or
Like, I'm not writing down, like, character descriptions, but I'm taking down some of the stuff that's being said that's, like, important or pertinent.
because I was thinking of like adding at least the like blind in one eye, left leg, was it?
Yeah. Blind in the left eye, missing the right leg.
Oh, blind. Like I thought about writing that down at least because.
Well, if you're already in the editor, you can go ahead and add that.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. So she will turn to you and say, "Yes, that's. I'll share what I know tomorrow. For right now, I'll turn in.
Yeah,
It's
I give her,
very glad to have someone to help me deal with this mess.
we'll do our best to fix it by nipping it at the bud, if we can. I will at least.
I would most certainly greatly appreciate that.
A fair evening to you, Sister Varnoth, and
you as
sleep well.
Yes, thank you for stopping by. It's always pleasant to retrieve new visitors, but I'll be working by myself most of the time, but I'll be happy to talk if you need anything." And then she
Sounds so angry.
Yeah. She's very curt, you notice.
Yeah.
She's not a friendly person, but you can tell she isn't angry either. She's just very no nonsense, curt, very rough around the edges a little bit, but generally welcoming to visitors and outsiders. But she makes her way down the path to her room, and night is falling. If you have anything you would like to do before you turn in for the night? Any special things you want to do? If there's anything you want to look at specifically? But if not, you're free to go to sleep.
I believe I will
Browse
do
the
just
library
that.
for a little while.
What was that?
Browse the books in the library for a little while. See if there's anything pertaining to the islands.
Yep.
Or the relic I'm looking for.
Richard's also just like seeing if there's like something in the library about dragons that he can very quickly find.
Yeah.
Probably something that isn't too thick and convolutedly worded.
Do you need help reading?
Yeah. So
A little bit.
So
a little bit.
when you two go into the library, so the thing about the kobolds that are living and working here is that during the daytime, this is a group of kobolds. They're fairly sensitive to the light, as a race. So they'll do most of their work during the afternoons into the nighttime, and then they'll usually take a nap in the early hours of the morning, in like the single digit hours, and then they'll get up again in the morning and, do another bout of work there until around noontime, and they'll go back to sleep. It's what's that? It's a sleep pattern that exists. I forget what it's called
Yeah.
because it's not nocturnal. It's like
my
semi-urnal or
sleep
something
pattern.
like that.
It's literally my sleep pattern.
But that's how the kobolds here operate. So when you guys go into the library, there's
Truly my kin.
yes, there's a small group of kobolds that are also in the library. So if you want to speak with any of them, let's see, who would be in there?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. So in there we're going to have Aga. Let's see. Kilnip. Aga, Kilnip. Laylee, for sure.
I like killed it.
Oh, Lily is a very cute name.
Yeah, and Zark.
Sark.
Zark, Dark Master.
Strong names.
Yes, so Aga is, she seems to be the most mature of the ones that are there. She is sort of leading the rest of them, and they're like, looking through some books, and she's reading aloud to the rest of them. A lot of, they're going over Bahamut texts, specifically because that is the main, study and worship on this island. So Aga is, she's reading aloud to the other kobolds, and she's, keeping them in line, keeping them paying attention. If any of them sort of like drift off, she's there to like snap the belt and get them back on track.
Also, sorry for a slight deviation because I got curious, and for creatures that are specifically awake around dusk or dawn, it's crepuscular.
Crepuscular, that's it.
Wow, that's
Yes.
quite a word.
I knew that at one
That's
point.
me.
But
Which is very different from either diurnal or nocturnal in wordage.
yeah.
Oh yeah, very different. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I guess, noticing that, I'm just gonna start. Like, I'm just gonna sit with the other ones and listen to Aga read about dragon. Like, ooh,
Yes.
requires this
so
brain power.
yep. As you're sitting there, you notice that Kilnip is sort of sitting there, generally interested, but they, they're kind of drifting out. But they seem to be paying a lot of attention. They're just sort of like drifting around and sort of vaguely aware of things. Laylee is, rapt attention, very, very paying attention. And Zark is the one that Aga has to, corral back into line most of the time. He's very distracted and, very sort of rambunctious and playful almost, but
Yeah.
in a almost aggressive way, really. Yeah, those are the mild characteristics that you can observe, and you're obviously very interested in learning what Aga has to say about Bahamut. She doesn't, she like nods to you, but she doesn't like, she's like, oh, welcome, please, you're allowed to sit in. But she doesn't pay too much attention to you beyond that. She's very focused on making sure the other kobolds are learning and paying attention. And what are you there for, Ten? Is there anything you want to
just,
do
like,
aside from watch the kobolds read their beginner's Bible on Bahamut with, colorful pictures and whatnot.
Does she like turn the book around when there's
Yeah,
pictures?
yeah.
to show-
Turns
Yes!
around the book and shows you the pictures of Bahamut and Tiamat fighting each other.
Fantastic.
Oh. I guess I'd probably just be interested in that.
All right, so you're
Well,
also
into that.
standing over and sort of like too cool for school, but you're still looking over at the.
Yeah, like kind of like, oh, I'm not like one of these kids, but I'm like kind of interested. Dragons fighting, pretty cool. Try Dragon
cool.
Balls, yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah. But yeah, that's happening sort of like in the corner of the room. They're all sat on the ground, sort of like story time, and Aga is sort of sat up on a small pile of books. So she's perched above everyone so that she has like a vantage point over the rest of the kobolds. She turns the book for everyone to see. But there's also plenty of other like scrolls and tablets and various other things in here. Yeah. So that's also happening in the library. Yeah. Anything the rest of you would like to do during this moment of downtime before the next day?
I think that Warm Like Ash is just kind of like staying in this, like up at the temple, basking in this warmth, looking up at the stars, looking down at the water and stuff like that. He's just like taking them in the moments, in the feelings like a tourist would.
Yeah, you do also notice that despite the sun setting and everything growing darker, it's not actually getting any colder in there. It's still very pleasant and still very mildly warm in the inside of the temple.
Would I have any magical knowledge if like a spell could create this?
You can do an arcane check.
Oh, good at those.
All right. Yes. So you are aware that the death of Astaglan, this island behaves kind of bizarrely, where how much religious knowledge do you have?
I think Ash has like dabbled a little in a lot out of pure curiosity, but loses interest too quick to go very deep.
Okay. So you would be generally aware that this island behaves a bit bizarrely. And also, since you know that this is where Astalan died, you can sort of put the pieces together and you realize that his death here created like a zone of warding and safety. And it's like centered on the statue of Bahamut, and it sort of radiates a protective area around it.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that during this like moment of like taking everything in, Ash is just like reminiscing about knowledge that he has and has heard, and doing like some mental gymnastics of like, oh right, that's kind of how this island works. I've heard a little bit about it, maybe from some travelers, maybe from this and that. So he's just like taking a moment of quiet.
You aren't sure why. You aren't sure why the island is strange. You don't have that deep of a knowledge, but you are aware that, like, maybe this is like part of the reason that you've came here is that you know that this island sort of behaves kind of strangely.
Yeah. And hearing, oh, there's an island that behaves strangely, just triggers some very big curiosity in Ash. So he goes like, I want to see that. So that's definitely a reason for him to go over here.
All right.
Honestly, Oromar is probably just going to kind of sit and dangle his legs over the edge of the cliff. And just kind of be contemplative while he's beating out a fairly simple rhythm on a small hand drum.
Within the temple?
Yes, within the temple.
Yeah, off the edge of the cliff there. Yes, that is a cliff face.
That over there. I figured because of the way the map's set up.
Yep. Yeah, it opens out and you have a view of the ocean from here. Alright, so yeah. If that is everything for everyone, you will all, retire to your rooms in due time. Anyone who's sleeping down in the main room, it's a cozy little area. There is an additional bedroll, so 2 people can sleep in the area, but one of them gets the bed and one of them gets the roll. So people can argue about that if you want, but I think only one person is sleeping in there, and that's Leovol. I think. Am I remembering that correctly? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in that room. I think a couple of people were up in the temple itself, and one of you was in the library. And whoever is sleeping in the library, I can't quite remember. If you express your intent to sleep, then the kobolds will like scurry off into the corner behind the bookshelves, so that the sound is dampened and they can continue their discussions. You'll notice that on the table in the library, there is actually a little glass stopper that has wax in it, and it's got a label on the side that says 4 ears. So if you want to stopper your ears with wax to block out sound, you're allowed the little wax bundles.
That's not going to cause long-term hearing damage.
Well, I mean, like, it's not sticky wax. It's like,
Oh,
it's like a
I don't
a
know how
wax
ear
cork.
stoppers work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a wax cork, basically. So it's moldable so that it can fit in your ear and, like, fit to your ear. So it's, like, pliable. But it's not, like...
It's not hot wax.
It's not liquid, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Fair.
Ears actually make their own wax.
Yeah.
That's true. Every time someone pulls out the wax, a little bit more gets added to it.
No, you don't put
That's cursed.
you don't put the wax back in. The wax is yeah.
I wouldn't imagine.
So as you were walking by next to the fields, there was also an apiary. So it's beeswax.
That's so cursed. The idea of someone just putting it back in. Oh.
No, those are disposable.
Zark does it. Zark definitely puts his earwax in there too.
The name like Zark, of course he does.
The little
If anyone
motherfucker.
would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So.
He also occasionally eats the wax.
Oh. Blue sniffing, wax eating.
It is beeswax,
making up
so
more.
it's not indigestible, but
Yeah.
it's not great.
And it's still not a good idea to
Yeah.
eat like a honk of it.
It tastes very slightly of honey, unfortunately, so there is some slight level of compellingness to eat it.
It's the whole Tide Pod thing all over again, but with beeswax.
And if he told Riksh to eat it, Riksh would too.
Oh.
So, the night passes. I assume everyone has gone to sleep at this point. The night passes, and the morning sun will rise. And anyone who is sleeping in the temple upon dawnbreak, if you're awake by dawn, you will see...
That will be Oromar.
Yeah. You'll see Runara and Mila come into the temple to start, like, daily practices of relighting incense and, sweeping up and, keeping temple maintenance going, various other activities.
Definitely still sleeping as they come in.
Yep, they'll be very, quiet and careful around you. This obviously isn't the first time they've had guests sleeping in the temple. Yeah.
I figure after Oromar's done with his usual morning routines, he'll go ahead and ask for direction to go ahead and try to help out with that.
Yeah. Oh, she'll give you a couple of tasks to do. There are some candles that are lit around, and she needs you to go retrieve some from the storage in Mila's room down on the ground floor. Because Mila sleeps in the central storage room full of boxes, that one. And she needs some more candles from there. So you can go and gather those. When are the rest of you going to be waking up? Because it's currently dawnbreak right now. The sun is just rising. So
I think when the sun hits
it's around 7 or 8, I
Ash,
think.
yeah, so when the sun hits Ash, I think he wakes up and like he sits up. There's a long stretch. One of his like big sideburns, like his lynx sideburns, is just stuck to his face, and he has to do like he gets a small like comb from his little scholar's pack and just starts like just adjusting his hair just a little bit. Like he's not the most well cared for tabaxi that's around, but at least he wants to keep an air of like some kind of like elegance that he has. So he just puts it in that it's clear that he's not like still an adventurer and does rough stuff, but does also not have his sideburns stick to his face in weird angles and stuff. He doesn't really offer to help with many of the things, but like he probably like in the early morning when they start working around the temple, he'll head to the library to just like casually read while he waits for either Varnoth to wake up or for the rest of the parts to reconvene to see what the next step is.
All right. When's everyone else waking up? So like, let's just yeah.
Vic starts to wake up around the time that Ormar leaves to grab the extra candles, but he's still like very drowsy and is like not quite getting up.
Yeah,
Just another
yeah.
5 hours, Mom.
Right. And how about Leoval?
Leoval always wakes up slightly before dawn to offer morning prayers.
Before dawn. So you've probably made your way. Are you going to make your way up to the temple to pray there, or?
I think you'd probably just pray.
Yeah,
do
just
his
in your room.
Prayers in his room first. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, what is it? It's Oromar who went to get the candles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Correct.
as
Correct.
Yes, okay, correct. I wasn't quite sure what you said there. Yeah. So when you go into the storeroom, you see one of the other kobolds in there, Rix. She's rummaging through some of the crates and whatnot. And you can see she's bringing out like little springs and bits of metal, and she's like, tinkering with various stuff. And she looks up and greets you, and she says,
Oh, hello, visitor.
Hello, I was sent down to collect some candles. Would you happen to know where they are?
Oh, yes, of course. That box over there.
and she points you to one of the boxes in the corner. There's a couple of boxes that look, similarly designed, and you open the top, and they've all got candles in them. You can see that the candles are also, they're homemade, mostly built out of beeswax. I think beeswax is good for candles, right?
I believe
it's
so.
Beeswax and tallow, right?
I think those are the
Wax
two
and
most
wax.
common. Wax or tallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm collecting the candles, I'll go ahead and asterisk. Pray tell, what are you putting together there?
Oh, Renata lets me tinker with some of the spare stuff. I like to make little contraptions. I'm currently working on a timekeeping piece.
Ah, a worthy use of time.
All right, so I'm gonna say this right now. It is listed in Rix's profile that she is fond of puns. So she is very tickled by that comment.
I'm adding that to the stuff in the handout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that is actually written into like her character profile.
That's really funny. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I know I put the emphasis on the time, but now I'm wondering if maybe he did it on accident.
So maybe.
Uh,
Who knows?
If Oromir,
Yeah.
Oromar
If
said
Oromir the
the
character.
pun on,
It
Yeah.
was a divine intervention.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
yeah, I
Guided
did the pun
by-
on purpose. I'm not sure if Oromar did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guided by the hand of his god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bahamut says, "Let there be puns."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I know this little one.
I might
She likes fun.
convert to Bahamut if that's one of his.
I mean, considering how he's often depicted when he's traveling in like humanoid guise, I don't think it's one of his tenets, but I'm not sure it's not something he'd be for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so you part with that comment, and you can see that Rix is still giggling as you leave. And you can bring the candles back up to the main temple, where Runara will thank you for your help, and she'll instruct you like where you can set up the candles that you've brought. And yes. So as the early morning progresses, you are informed in the temple that breakfast is ready to be served soon, and that you should
What's for breakfast?
probably some sort of fish. A lot of fishing going on here. So primarily going to be fish and various root vegetables.
Ah, fish.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes. You're very fortunate, because today is Tarak's turn to cook. He is most of us consider him the best. So that is for today. So she also asks that you gather the rest of your companions. She says this to the two people that are in the temple right now. She's like, if you can gather everyone else and inform them when breakfast is. So you can go do that now, and you'll all gather together for a very lovely breakfast in the dining room. There's, it's a bit cramped. It's a fairly narrow hallway, but everyone fits. Mm-hmm. There's not that much elbow room, but fortunately it's the main population of this island is a lot of very small people, because it's a gnome, a dwarf, and a bunch of kobolds, and the only tall one really is the one tiefling in here. Tarak, the one tiefling.
The token tall person.
Yeah, the token tall person. But he's going to be in the kitchen for most of it, so it's a lot of very short people at the table.
It looks like a gathering of very regular-sized people.
Yes, to you. Yes, and the rest of you are freakish giants.
How many times I've heard that?
Mm-hmm. All right. But breakfast passes, fairly standard. You can make conversation with anyone you'd like to if you just want to, I don't know. If you want to strike up conversation with one, you can pick one of the important people. Like, I know one of you wanted to ask Varnoth. You can talk
Yeah.
over breakfast with her. You could strike up
Yeah.
conversation with one of the kobolds if you want. See if you can get any fun information out of any of them. They've
Yeah,
all
I
got
wanted
fun
to,
little personalities.
I did
Right.
indeed want to speak to Varnoth, but
Yeah.
other people can go 1st if they'd like.
I would like to probably roll the die to see like which kobold I'm sitting next to and talk to them.
Yeah. Roll /R1D9. Does that work?
It does, yeah.
All right, number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's Mumpo.
Mumpo!
Mumbo, what a name.
Let's go, Mumpo.
Wasn't that the name of like a sad elephant?
No, that's Dumbo,
know.
silly.
Oh, that's Dumbo. I was like, it doesn't sound quite right, but can't put my finger on it. Um,
Yep. So,
Alright.
would you
So-
like to talk with Mumpo?
I would love to talk with Mumpo.
So, Mumpo is, he's a little energetic guy. What do you want to talk with him about?
What do you do here all day? Every day.
Oh, we do a lot of study. We clean around the temple. We sometimes we'll help out Varnoth with his farming and stuff. He's a head gardener, so we only do what he tells us to. But if you can keep a secret, I actually took this from
Runara's little hidey hole, and he pulls out a copper coin.
It's like, she doesn't know I took it though, so don't tell her. It's a secret.
And he
Understood.
hides
I
it
like
back in his
stealing
pocket.
too. I like stealing too. I get it.
Yeah, it's my lucky coin.
they're so cute. They really are.
They're all sitting next to them, just overhearing this and being like,
Like-
all right,
Like,
keeping an eye on
He's
these
not
two.
actually all that quiet. You can see that Runara is like, she's sitting at the other side of the table, but she hears and she doesn't say anything about it. She knows that he took it. She
It's
doesn't
like a
care.
mother.
It's harmless.
It's a copper coin.
It's a copper,
Yeah.
and it makes him happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
You like doing that, right? You enjoy all of this?
It's a very good time. I like being around my friends. There used to be a couple more of us, but they left a little while ago.
Where did they go?
Oh, they just went into the island. I think they were following something out there, but we hadn't seen them in a little bit.
Did you know what they were following?
No, I don't know. They didn't tell me.
Ah. I guess I have to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this was a conversation mainly for Rusty. So as long as none of the rest of you are paying attention specifically to this conversation, especially if you're like, someone was talking with Varnoth, then you probably wouldn't be hearing this. But if you're just idly eating, you probably also pick up on this conversation a little bit. There aren't too many people talking because the food's really good. Like Tarok is a very good cook. So a lot of people are, eating pretty silently and, enjoying their food. But there is a conversation that's happening between Rusty and Mumpo.
I love
That
Mumpo.
is Mumpo's trying to whisper, but he's not the quietest.
Mm-hmm.
If that conversation's wrapped up, I'll talk with Varnoth, but I won't interrupt.
Yeah. So is it just you that's talking with Varnoth, or is this a multi-person conversation? Because I think a lot of people were interested in talking with Varnoth.
I'll be at least like listening in and chime in if I need to.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what did you want to say to Varnoth?
So Ash will probably like sit down next to her.
Mhm.
Not super close or anything. Well, I mean, everyone's a little bit arm to
it's a
arm, but
bench.
yeah, I'll go like, so, not to interrupt your, well, breakfast, because this food is divine. But I would like to ask you anyway, while I have you here, the undead, they rose from the waters, and it's been a problem that recurs for a few years at this point. Could you inform me a little bit better?
Yeah. So, between bites of food, she's not, stopping to talk really. She's like, yes, I don't know how much Runara's said about this, but a couple decades ago is when it started. I don't remember exactly how long. Round about 3 to 4 decades ago, I think. It was shortly after I arrived here, but yes, it was shortly after I arrived here. But it just seemed to start happening one day. It used to be maybe once a year, maybe even less sometimes, but every now and then we'd get some undead rising out of the ocean and coming towards our homes. And I'd drive them off every time they came too close, but they don't bother us too often, or too dramatically rather. They bother us fairly often nowadays. But a couple of months ago, like I said, it only happened once a year, or even less. But a couple months ago now, it's been happening very frequently, and I'm not sure what's caused this sudden uptick. It may just have to do with recently I've seen a ship at the northern archipelago. It seemed to veer very dramatically off course and crash into the rocks further up north. I saw when I was up in the temple helping maintain it one day. You got a very good view up north from the temple. And that was round about the time where it started happening. So that one ship I saw crash into the rocks up there.
And you say that, well, it started happening after the ship, but the ship hadn't yet like crashed when it started happening after you arrived, right? The ship was a recent development?
Yes, the ship was recent. The ship was a
Right.
much more recent development. That's when it became frequent, you see.
Are there, well, I I recall a little bit of information about this island itself, about how it treats its inhabitants in, well, weird ways. I don't know the full extent of it or why it does that, but do you happen to think that that ship crashing might have frustrated the island, so to speak?
It could do. The island is a font of sort of magical energies, from what I understand. I'm not too well versed on it myself. That's much more Runara's domain.
I see.
Maybe talking with her might illuminate that matter a bit more. But it's definitely possible. There are strange things that happen here that I've seen. I used to get around the island a bit more in my younger days, but
Do you
now that
happen
I've-
to know
I've-
if Do you happen to know if the undead are mostly centered around here, or is it all over the island?
I'm sorry. I haven't been round the island recently, but I'm pretty sure they're just attracted to the settlement. But they do seem to come from the north, as far as I can tell. Excuse
I
me.
see. I don't
We have a
know.
lead to look into then.
Yes, I don't know how well any of us are at keeping their breath for hours on end. I cannot myself, but I've been surprised by people in the past. And I look around the the other 3 individuals that we arrived with, but there's little hope in his eyes that any of you like has gills that he doesn't know about.
Yeah. So
Well, at the very least, we may be able to at least investigate near the rocks.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah. I'd head over there myself, but I'm much less mobile nowadays than I used to be.
You're feisty.
Worry not, Lady Varnoth. We shall take a look at things. 'Tis why we're here, after all.
I have one quick question for you lot. Do any of you have the soldier background?
Sure don't.
Just curious.
An extra dialogue option will appear.
Yeah. They kind of.
Mhm.
But yeah. Anyway. Alright, so if nobody else has any further conversations they would like to strike up, breakfast will end, and you 4 can convene and decide if there's anything you would like to do.
Yeah, I will speak up probably first. I'll go, not to be the decider among the group, but, well, we'll have a good bit of time on this island, I suppose. However, that doesn't mean I want to take my time with everything I can. I'm a little bit... I don't like sitting around. Are any of you interested in actually helping with the... well, at least the lead that we have of the up north rocks of the shipwreck?
Yes. Yes, now that we've
So
entered,
worth
like,
investigating.
general dialogue, I'm going to bring us back to the Stormwreck Isle, so that you can, take a look at the maps. So you know that in the northern archipelago, there was a ship that was seen crashing.
Like
That
around here?
more like the northern
Oh, there.
portion of the archipelago, yeah. Further up
I
into
see.
the rocky section.
Yeah.
Any insult or raids from the undead would surely hinder our personal missions, so I think it would be worth investigating.
Why not go further in? But going further out makes further in easier.
Yes,
Exactly.
I don't know if we're going to get any answers in the shipwreck, but there might be some. There might be none. There might be a way to solve this issue. If perchance we view this island as a living being for the sake of this, having a thorn in your side will certainly anger you. Maybe we can find a way to get rid of that thorn. I don't know how difficult that's going to be. I don't know how we're going to get across the archipelago.
So
'Cause-
this map is showing things at high tide. So when it's at lower tide,
Right.
there's land bridges that you can take
Okay,
up north.
I see. So we'll just have to wait for low tide, and then we can just head up northward and just try not to get swept away when it switches again.
I'm sure we can keep track of time enough that we can get across.
Yes, the worry isn't getting there. My worry is more that if we have to return, then we'll have to maybe stake out on an island for maybe a night or some time at least. I'm not too familiar with how tides work myself. I'm not much of a coastal folk.
Can't help that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just a sec. Would any of you here? If you want to see if you guys know about tides, you can throw out a. What would this be? It's some sort of intelligence check.
Maybe a survival check?
Nature?
Yeah, survival. It's definitely survival.
Yeah, that works.
Or you can go intelligence nature if you want.
I'll
Yeah.
take a
Na-
survival.
nature or survival, either one.
I don't know much about tides, but I do know about tide pods. They're very tasty.
I'll take a survival, sure. Nope.
Wonderful.
He Ormar may have looked into it just when he was preparing for his travels.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Rick's just thinking.
All
Nice.
right. So,
How
I
much
might
of
know
a-
some stuff.
yep. The tide
Yeah,
charts
Rick's-
for this island. From midnight to sunrise, it is low tide. From sunrise to noon, it is high tide. From noon to sunset, it is low tide. And from sunset to midnight, it is high tide.
So during 24 hours.
It is currently sunrise to noon, so it is high tide right now.
Right.
All right, I'll go ahead and convey that to everyone. We'll have to wait till noon to start our crossing.
We could head towards
sure.
the land bridge first, see how long that takes.
Yeah, the island isn't enormous, so you could circumnavigate the island by walking along the coast in one day. It's not
Right.
massive,
Okay.
but
That's pretty small.
It is still fairly large.
Yeah. I've just been working with very grand scale things recently,
And
so
by
I thought, oh, this
by
is an
one day
island.
I mean 24 hours, not like
Yeah.
an 8-hour walk.
Yeah. So during the 24 hours, if we spend that long, we'll have 2 opportunities to go,
Yeah.
and of course, more if we, wait a night.
Yeah, to get to the little chain archipelago, it's not going to take you more than a couple hours, or not even a couple hours,
Yeah.
maybe like a half hour to an hour to get there, and to get
Yeah.
all the way up, it's maybe like another hour and a half to get all the way up to where you were told that the ship had crashed.
Yeah. All right. Unless there's any objections, I believe we have a vague plan for our first excursion. If we see if we can gel well together as a small wandering group.
Mhm. Rick's just thinking about that very first zombie encounter and how he was unable how he managed to kill one but not the other. So he's thinking that he can't if he runs into other zombies later on by himself, it's gonna be very tiring for him. So he doesn't
Just
want to
run.
deal with that.
Just run, Lamau.
He's thinking about self-preservation, and for that he would need other people. It seems in his
Yeah.
mind. So he's just sure, I'll go along.
You know, better to stick together than die alone. All right. So, if that is what we're going to do, how good are we all for continuing? Do we want to do this now or leave it until next session?
I would like to leave it till next session because I'm getting very
Yes,
tired.
yes.
And Ray needs me to go pick up dinner, so...
All right.
Okay.
Yes. This seems like a very good point to stop then.
Yeah.
Yes,
next,
it does.
Next session, we can begin the shipwreck search.
Yeah. Sessions are supposed to be about 3 hours, right? In your
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sort of the aim for me. I don't want to take up too much time, and I think 3 hours is a pretty good slot. We can run short.
Yeah.
We could run long a little bit if everyone's okay with that, but 3 hours is generally the mark that I'm aiming for.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that just constantly goes like, okay, well, I have to go now, so everyone else has to quit as well.
Yes,
So
I know it's late over in Europe,
yeah.
so
All right. Well, I'm going to
Yes.
immediately head off. Thank you for the video game, and thank you for hosting it. It's not a video game. It's a tabletop role-playing game.
tabletop.
Whatever.
Yes, thank you very much for the
Our
game.
imagination.
Fun
Very
times.
fun.
Yes.
Really enjoyed this. It was very
Thank
very
you, buddy.
good and fun and nice. Getting this first session with everyone.
Yes. I'm excited to play more with a new group of people, friends,
Yeah.
even, if you will.
Yeah.
Whoa,
if I can
let's
consider
not,
you a friend.
not quite there yet.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good night or afternoon, everyone.
And
I'll see you around.
thank
Have a
you
good
all
time zone,
for
everyone.
showing up.
Yeah.
This went pretty well.
Of course.
I think.
Did
Yeah.
great. Good job,
Right.
Bali. Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thanks
And
for having us.
We'll end stream now.
Yes. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.